So, Mr. Michel, thank you very much for being with us. First of all, I want you to summarize how was the meeting, what was said, and the message of the meeting in the Parliament with Mrs. Rajavi.
We all agree it's an exceptional moment that we face because the regime is weaker than ever. But because they are weaker, they become again more brutal and much more aggressive. And that's why it's very important to be absolutely clear, to defend, to promote peace, to defend and promote fairness, and also to learn some lessons from the past. And it's very clear that appeasement has not worked and will not work. And I think that we should be stronger and absolutely determined to promote those values we believe in. Point one. Point two, that's also important to recognize that silence is a form of complicity in such a context. And that's why we need to make clear that we are determined to support this third option and to support the 10-point plan, because the 10-point plan is the right way to go to a democratic Iran anchored in principles of freedom and human dignity.
There were also a lot of talks and condemnation on the executions of those two political prisoners. We know that many others are on death row. On your view, what is the duty of the international community and especially the EU, which you have led in previous years?
Look, we can see, including in recent days, in recent weeks, that there are more and more executions and more terrorism exercised against the people within the country, against women, against students, against activists, against resistance. All those who want to fight for their freedom and for the freedom of the country. And you know, the European Union, the history of the European Union is based on the democratic principles and the fundamental values. And that's why we have a role to play, and we have to trust and to support those who, with courage, are fighting politically on the ground all across Iran, but also to support this diaspora, who is very active to promote those principles we share, fundamental freedoms, human dignity, and fundamental values.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think the right policy should be to confront the nuclear program of the regime? Because there are talks of continuing the talks with the regime, some talk about other options. What is your view on that?
Look, I fully support this idea that the military operation is the wrong choice, and we have seen many examples. It will not be an effective and the right solution. We all understand very well that the appeasement policy, it has not worked. It means that we have to be strong, we have to be determined, and we cannot accept that this regime, with its mad vision of the world, would get the nuclear weapon. It means that everything should be done to stop this nuclear race on the one hand, and the best way is to support the Iranian opposition, to support all those who are absolutely convinced that another path is possible.
You also talked about those people in Ashraf 3, those resistant fighters.
Look, we have seen how those people in Ashraf 3 are extremely resilient, and they are a very important asset for the future of the country. And that's why it's important to support them on the one hand, and to recognize the important role they play, and they will have to play in the future.
And at the end of the interview, what would be your message to the Iranian people who would watch your interview?
I have one message. You are not alone, and you are many in Europe who are absolutely convinced that your fight is legitimate, that your fight is also our fight, and we will do everything which is possible to support you, because we want you to be free.
We thank you very much for being.
Thank you.